Welcome. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:30. We have one adjustment to the agenda. We're going to add 12.4, consideration of Desiree Fry as middle school basketball coach. Is it the B team?
Yes,
Yes, B team. B team. Any other adjustments? Seeing none, motion to accept the board meeting as adjusted, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Any recognitions this evening?
No, sir.
Consideration of minutes, regular board meeting, October 27th, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Changes, corrections? All those in favor? Opposed? One abstention?
Who's that?
Consent agenda minutes, policy committee meeting, October 27th, and personnel committee meeting, October 27th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Abstention? No presentations this evening? Public participation? Go ahead.
The debt on the Stockton Spring School, is that paid off now? Or
No.
so that'd be the next fiscal year, the next payment?
Yes, next year's budget will reflect the last and final payment.
Because there's been a payment made this year.
Correct,
So
correct.
there's one more.
There's one more payment, yes. Report from the superintendent?
I do have a couple things. First of all, I'm glad Mr. Clement is here. I want to publicly thank the Searsport Elementary students and staff for their outstanding Veterans Day assembly that they put on today. It was great. We had a few of us there, and it brought a few tears to people's eyes. It was really something to see. Parent-teacher conferences are being conducted at Searsport Elementary during this week and next week. They do them at night or in the afternoon. Searsport Middle School and High School will be conducting their conferences next Thursday from 3:30 to 7:30, and then on Friday from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. Mr. Clement and myself will be attending the Mid-Coast Superintendent meeting this Thursday, where Drummond Woodson attorneys Dan Rose and Eric Hurlin will be presenting for about 5 hours. Anytime you get free legal, you go. I went to a curriculum coordinator meeting last Tuesday. A lot of items were discussed about professional development, some curriculums that are coming down the road as far as science and math. But there is one point of interest I wanted to bring to everybody's attention, and that is there is a current legislative committee that is reviewing the proficiency-based diploma. So, I will leave it at that. I did bring for you to have to look at, because it'll be on next meeting's agenda. These are the current middle school numbers for classes. And yep. So I'll give you an opportunity to look, and if you do look on the backside, I don't expect you to break it all down tonight. I'm going to put it on the next meeting's agenda, and we'll break it down by staff as well. Please note that some of the middle school students are taking some high school foreign language classes. But I know this is, what we're trying to do is look at our numbers. This will give you an idea also of how the classes are broken up, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. And why you see some variety in numbers in the 7th and 8th grade is some of the students are put into some classes based on ability and their ed tech availability. But that will be on the next board's agenda. Bill?
This was the high school one you gave us,
Yes.
and that will be the middle school one, will be, same format, same.
Right, right.
So we'll have teachers' names there.
Yes, yep. But we wanted to give this to you, so at least you'd have a rough idea of what the middle school is looking like. And then I finally have a letter of resignation that I'd like to read. Dear Mr. Chris Downing and the directors of our schools of Searsport and Stockton Springs, this letter is to acknowledge my termination as teacher of our students in secondary level biological sciences. This decision is not wished, nor is it easy. Please let me tell you how much the students of Searsport, Stockton Springs, and Frankfort have meant to me over the years. When I was hired in 2004, I had found my goal for which I had worked so hard, that of serving in a public school system to teach students to strive toward their highest potential, in a school where they are nurtured and supported through their individual learning process and to help prepare them for the future education and career. I found in Searsport District High School a school where every individual is valued and every teacher and support staff share in the commitment to guide them in their journey. I have never known such dedicated and professional staff and administrators, and I have been honored by the opportunity to work with them over the years. We share a core belief: the very best that we individually want for our child is that which we want for every child. It has been my privilege and joy to teach and get to know personally so many students and their parents, siblings, and extended families. This community of Searsport, Stockton Springs, and Frankfort is truly devoted to providing our children, working collaboratively and drawing upon compassion and understanding in our daily efforts towards student growth and achievement. I have watched our children leave the local nest to expand their visions in higher education, training, and positions of employment across Maine, New England, and beyond. And in quotes, my kids work in the county hospital, in local businesses, cross national borders to work and study and learn that we are, across differences and challenges, citizens of a common humanity. I am so proud to have been part of all of these students' lives. I thank their families for their support of the school and the partnership with us in their children's education. I am just sorry about my diminished ability to derive strength throughout periods of uncertainty in our recent consolidated district, of occasional decisiveness across our two sides of the river, and handling the losses of some of our students over the years. For me, all of this reawakened to one extent or another the period of uncertainty and lapse in value and priority in the period my own son was missing during his school, in parentheses, BAHS, competition for 2 hours. The hours were eons of agony, the long minutes holding him as I had when he was growing, were now in the abrupt last flicker of his life. These moments came back to me in the past years, and the integrity that I needed to hear from my son's school was never offered. Unanswered questions, my son's vandalized memorial, and the school's unresolved gaps in recognizing our boy's life and his being left behind, were begging for acknowledgement and caring. We were not met in this concern, and our son deserved better. In the wake of my own experience, I began my job at Searsport District High School with our bright, conscientious, and caring students whom I have had the pleasure of teaching and from whom I have had the great privilege of serving as advisor. Each child's life has been cherished and respected, and for each child, the excitement, challenge, and rewards of his or her present and future development have been a joy to share. Our schools continue to have the leadership, positive outlook, and integrity with whom I am proud to work. After a break from stress and loss, I do hope at some point in the future to rejoin our educational programs. In the meantime, I am always available to help in any capacity needed and forever hold a high regard for our students and their families, and our school and district leaders. Sincerely, Maura Dupree. I wanted to read that because Maura, this was an agonizing time for her, but she has tendered her resignation, and we will move on. And that's my report tonight. I'll answer any questions that people have.
Seeing none, moving on, committee reports, Finance Committee.
The Finance Committee met tonight, and things are going very well. We should be expecting a final payment from Belmont sometime in the next month from last year. All the accounts are doing well, and financially, we're in real good shape right now.
Thank you, Percy. Negotiation Committee.
Negotiations, we will start negotiations with the support staff on Thursday with just an informal meeting to discuss plans, et cetera, and we will go from there. So,
Thank you, Percy. We have no old business this evening. New business, first reading of policy file JJIBA-R, evaluation form for the evaluation of coaches and assistant coaches, which you should receive via email, and I believe might even have been in your packet this evening. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept the first reading.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I know we had some pretty extensive discussion about the need for this during the Personnel Committee meeting. Just some things that I think are obviously worth saying here across the entire board meeting. It's just that it is a bit surprising that this hasn't been part of the natural process. And I'm really excited to see that there's great opportunity for development and growth for these coaches, which sometimes is very short-term roles. They deserve to get feedback just like the teachers do. I think this is a great opportunity and a good thing to add to the policy.
Anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor? Nobody opposed, nobody abstains. Moving on, 12.2, consideration of approval of robotics team with a $2,500 stipend position.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Question I had, I know at budget time we discussed some opportunities that we would have to kind of mitigate stipends in other spaces where they are not being utilized. Have we looked into that at all? Do we know is that where the stipend is really being redirected?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And my recollection was it was from golf team cheering stipend that's always been left in there. Yes.
So I mean, important to point out, it really isn't an additional cost, it's just
No.
a redirection of some additional
Correct.
budgeted items that are not being utilized.
Now, is he gonna take, was it Mr. George or Mr. Kabat?
We will post that, and we'll have to post it, and then, there's one candidate that is ready to move forward, and that is
Yeah, the ones that have been doing it.
correct.
Okay.
Anyone else? All those in favor? Opposed? No abstentions? Thank you. Can I break every golden rule? We're gonna take 12.4, as 12.3 is an executive session, and we must shut everything down to have our executive session. And we want people to see everything, action that we take. So let's go to 12.4, girls middle school coach Desiree Fry, B team. You should have received in your packet a candidate profile, which remember must be given back to the superintendent.
And I'll second.
All those in favor? Unanimous? Thank you. 12.3, executive session for the purpose of discussion litigation pending or contemplated pursuant to 1 MRSA 405-6E. All those in favor of entering executive session?
That's it.
Opposed?
Thank you, Pete.